Alright, a little dark down in here. But good day to y'all. So, kind of my basement. They tore out, just had like crappy wood paneling in it. Then there was carpet, and then I scraped up all this like foam stuff. But anyway, that gray wire comes back and it just supplies that outlet. And then supplies that, just that outlet, so I don't know why. And that bedroom, I should say. I don't know why it is kicking out that other breaker. Or kicking out, testing for that other outlet. And you see some of these wires run. So, I'll have to look exactly what the code is, but you can't just run wire like that and secure it with looped over a nail. And then just shoot it through the wall. Again, just slipped over a nail and then who knows what. So I know you can get away with drilling through the floor joists. So these are called floor joists because they're supporting a floor above. Ceiling joists are supporting just a ceiling. So yeah, ignore this, all my hunting stuff. So when you have a suspended ceiling, which means that that ceiling is going to be hanging below the floor joist, I know you can run your wires like that. I think that's allowed too if you're going to put sheetrock straight on. There is some code, I remember seeing it, that you have to actually notch out where the wire runs are going to be, or you have to put in like this furring strips which bring the ceiling down just a little bit so the wires have room to run underneath. I think really that's just mainly for if you have to do work after the fact. We'll see. I'll have to look up that code. Maybe I'll insert that right here. But so we're gonna do this run from our panel out, and I went and picked up some. These are called spade bits. Use them to. I mean, you could use a hole saw, but that would take forever. So there's spade bits, Forstner bits, and hole saws that can put holes in the joist like that. But I bought these which are really short. I do have some, but I just could not find them. They might still be at my old man's place. So I use these. I'll drill holes. And it looks like they're probably 1/2 inch holes in there right now. No, they're 3/4 inch holes. I will probably stick with 3/4 inch holes from the majority because there are so many holes right now. So a 3/4 inch hole, you could fit 3 12-2 wires through it. So. Alright, well I'll start popping some holes, put a sequence in here of that, and then make my wire run out. Should be fairly simple. Out to the garage. I think I'm just going to run 2 runs. 2 runs out there because I know I'm going to have one to replace the breaker where the compressor's hooked up. Jeez, I don't want to say replace the breaker, but one to hook up where the compressor is. Then I'll have one for the outlets. So those 2 will have to run, and there's already one out there that run the lights. So. The more I look at this, the more I just laugh. I'll pop this off. Okay. There's a few clues that I can kind of tell what's running where. But this is awesome. When our staple is supposed to be secured to an outlet, I gave her 6 inches. And probably not by zip tie. And that junction box is probably, I don't want to look in there. So I'm just kind of looking to see where all these wires run through and where they go. So that one there is more than likely goes up into the kitchen. This one is definitely for the oven because it's a heavy gauge and the oven runs 240 volts. And this run, again, I mean they got something stapled, but then this one's just loose. Half the outlets aren't secured to the walls. That is the water line for the fridge water. And this, I'm guessing, is the outlets. I could just go hook up my tester again. That's probably the smart thing to do. See if I'm getting the signal through there. I'll go do that right now. So I'll put my transmitter in that outlet, then I'll check and see if this is my transmitter, where it comes out. So this is outside in the garage. See if I can find I just ripped down my doggy door that was set up for the winter. Right here. So 135 psi electrical input, 120 volts, and then 14 amp 3-wire. So, which isn't, I mean, they're saying 3-wire is in 3-prong outlet, so it must have a ground. So I know that this outlet is tied together with everything in this garage, so I can plug in my transmitter here. So that means it's transmitting. I think how this works is I should be able to go to any place that's on that same circuit in this garage. If I can find an exposed wire, let's see here. I gotta take all my stuff off the walls to get to this, but I just put it up this way. Let's see if we can find a wire. I know there's one around here. Yeah. Tractor going for small engines, transmission going for auto body. Got my car getting kind of packed in here, so. Oops. So now that transmitter will just transmit the signal anywhere, so I can test it there, and okay, that one's on the same circuit, which we knew that, and we knew the lights are on the same circuit. So now we'll go back down in the basement. So that wire does go up and into the living room for whatever reason, so I am just gonna do 2 new wire runs out to the garage and take it from there. Here's my plan. I know roughly right here is where my outlet is out in the garage, and I know there's nothing between here and the outside sheetrock. I mean, I could punch a hole if I wanted, but I will actually probably use my stud finder and find out where the stud is out there, drill in between the studs so I can exit here and go to that. But the other thing I want to do is take and find a spot where I can make this nice clean run and where it's straight, where I'm not going to drill into anything on the other side. So there are quite a few wires run on each side of the joist. So if I follow this back, I want to avoid any water lines, do as straight a run as possible. Now I run into some electrical, so maybe I'll move over this way a little. Actually, this looks really clean right here. I want to avoid having to run it like in between pipes or anything like that. And there are, always make sure when you're doing something like this. So I'll show you. It looks really nice and clean from one side. Like, oh yeah, I can drill all this out, no problem. So if I take and drill all my holes right here, yeah, it looks great, wide open, no issues. But if I forget, you know, and I'm just concentrating on drilling this way, and I look back, well, there's a wire, there's 2 wires, there's a wire. You drill into that, you're probably gonna get a pretty good zap. I have no idea what that's for. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll get my ladder set up and I'll come through and hammer out all these lines, and then if you see, I only have to drill a few holes, and then I'll just make my run back to the panel over there. That's why I bought the shorty spade bit, is so I could get in between the floor joists. My wire's sitting down there, ran it up and over the joist, and then I'll get it run all the way, then I'll staple my way back to the panel where I need to. But you don't have to staple if it's secured through the ceiling joist like that. So this stuff is pretty strong, so you don't have to be super gentle with it. Just make sure you aren't kinking it or pulling around a sharp corner where you're ripping insulation off. get all these twists on it. So I'm not having to fight it the whole time. Not like it's the end of the world. There's a twist, but it just looks more professional, I guess. The other thing that you want to do, it's going pretty well so far, is that make sure you aren't stapling like right where, you know, where the ceiling meets the floor joist or the floor meets the floor joist. Because if, say, somebody comes in and they're redoing flooring or they miss a joist, well, odds are that they're going to put that nail down trying to hit the center of that joist, and if they miss, well, then they could come down and hit your wire. So just come down a little ways, like halfway is perfectly fine. You just don't want to be tight, real tight to it. And same on the bottom side too. You don't want to be so close to the bottom that when a ceiling gets put up that you're, you know, if your screw or a nail misses, you're going into the electrical work. So I'm not nailing them so tight that I couldn't move them if I had to. Time for some more drilling and then we'll get to the panel. On this one I'm going to use a 1-inch spade bit. I don't know if I said that before. These are called spade bits. Because I know I'm going to end up by doing more electrical coming from the panel at some point anyway. This drill is probably a little too powerful to be using for this. As you can see, it catches pretty easy. So I'm going to check and see what I got. Try to keep everything nice and in line. If you guys notice too, I feel every time. Just kind of like to double check one last time to make sure I'm not missing. If I want to be real precise too, I could run a string line or a chalk line and snap the underside and drill them all. Most ceilings get covered up anyhow. God dang. Again. And this is a 1-speed drill, so it's just all or nothing. That's why it's catching so bad. Keeps me awake. 50 more to go. I think I've got like 4 left. Smells good. I think this whole thing is Doug fir. Or Douglas fir. Oh, my dad. Oh, that skin today's coming. X-Forest. Every time when I try and pull out, it's still rolling. Alright, I'll run the wires down into here. And then what I'll do is I'll pull it up into the panel there just in case. I know I've got a couple extra feet there. But I'll pull this wire to the panel. And then I just got to be careful. I'm not going to hit anything inside here. Short anything out. So. Alright guys, real quick. Yeah, I ran way over. Like it was 38 minutes long when I thought I would be down to like 15. So I split it into 2, maybe even 3 videos now. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I maybe even will post the second part of this come Wednesday or Thursday. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.